Thanks for dropping by Nerdorama Retro Nostalgia. I'm going to show you why I am addicted to repairing and restoring early Sega and Nintendo game consoles, and it all started with my Sega Game Gear. In this video I'm going to show you the 10 consoles that I have. That's going to be the first part. We're then going to have a very quick look at this Sega Game Gear restoration and repair that I've done. We're then going to have a look at the Nintendo consoles, the Megadrives, the Master Systems, and stick around for the end where there's going to be a special announcement. Before we go any further, click that subscribe button. It's going to help this little channel grow, plus it'll help me save a Sega or a Nintendo. You will want to save a Sega or a Nintendo, don't you? I wasn't joking when I told you I had 10 consoles to repair. So my originals are this Sega Game Gear and this Sega Nomad. The Sega Nomad is a portable version of the Genesis, or the Master System as it was called here in Australia. I purchased this from eBay in the very early 2000s for 99 Australian dollars. I'm going to pop on the screen what that is in today's money. The Sega Game Gear is just a portable version of the Master System, so we have 2 Master Systems and 2 Sega Game Gears. The Nomad is the portable Mega Drive or Genesis, and we have 3 Mega Drives. I've also got this original Game Boy and the Game Boy Pocket. There's plenty of stuff here to keep me going for many videos to come. So other than my original Game Gear and Nomad, all of these have been collected in the last month, basically. The Master System, these 2 Mega Drives and this Game Gear were a lot from Facebook Marketplace. I was able to get $100 off the asking price. I'm not going to tell you how much I paid, but it was a pretty good deal. This one and this one were both from eBay. I do love this one. It's had a bit of surgery, so it's going to be quite interesting to see what happens with that one. And my lovely Game Boys were both Facebook Marketplace purchases as well. So that's how I've ended up with these 10 consoles that I'm going to be addicted to repairing. This is the console that kicked off my addiction. It had completely died, but have a look at where we are now. And most importantly, our sound and our volume control works. When I did the initial repair, it didn't work, and at the end of the video, I didn't have sound. I took everything apart, had a look, put it back together, and now it works. The sweet sound of volume control. To get my Game Gear working, first of all I had to learn how to solder. There's a video down in the comments if you want to see my soldering journey. I then had to get the capacitor kit, take apart the Game Gear, have a look inside, do a lot of removal of parts. There's an audio board, there's a power board, there's also a main motherboard, and all of those had capacitors that needed removing and replacing. It was then a matter of getting them all back on, getting it back together, and voila, we have my working Game Gear. Now to you, my lovely viewers, 3 things that I really need to know. Do you have a console at home that needs repairing, particularly if you're in Australia? Let me know, jump into the comments, tell me all about it. Were you Team Sega or were you Team Nintendo? And lastly, what was your very first console that you remember playing? Drop me a note in the comments, I'd love to hear from you all. It's time to test our Nintendos. The really nice guy who sold me this said it doesn't work, he thinks it's a faulty power switch, so yep, nothing. I don't have a power supply, so I can try the external power supply, so that's something that I've got to add to my collection, but at the moment, nothing's happening. This Game Boy Pocket is just suffering from a really common issue. It's a polarization filter issue. It's just a thin layer of glue between the little filter and the screen. It just goes bad and it causes this issue from the outside in. Let's give it a try. This one cost me all of $40. Ooh, we have Nintendo dropping down. Ooh, we have the ding ding, which is volume up, volume up. Okay, I'll do my best. It's kind of as good as we're going to get. Sound is working. Theme is happening. I can almost see from my angle. I bet I'm making a really weird face to try and see it. I'm going to have to take apart the original Game Boy. Potentially there might be some capacitors that need replacing. This Game Boy Pocket, I'm really hoping it's just going to be a quick and cheap repair with replacing of the polarization filter. Now we're going to have a look at the Master Systems and this other Game Gear. When I got this Game Gear home and had a look, I had to take the batteries out straight away. You can see here we've got some corrosion. Here's a photo of what that looked like. Please don't leave any batteries in your retro consoles. Pause the video, go and save them, and then come straight back. No. Keep watching and do it after. I do have an original Sega power brick, so I'm just going to give it a quick test with the multimeter before I use it on any equipment. To test this with my multimeter, the polarity dictates that the negative pin goes on the inside, the positive pin goes on the outside. There, we're just setting about 13.7. It is a 9-volt supply, but I have tested. That is correct because it's a non-regulated power supply. All the power regulation happens inside the unit, so we're good. Let's get our game in. Let's see what we get. Okay, we turn on, which is a surprise. Let me just try our knobs here. No. I can see something. So we're getting some random colors. So there is life in the machine, but clearly it needs a little fixing. I have successfully repaired a Game Gear before, so fingers crossed I can repair this one. To test the Master System, so we're going to have to use the RF port here. So that's why I've got my little TV here on the bench. I'm going to use an RF to HDMI adapter to see if there is life in either of the Master Systems. Here's the RF to HDMI adapter. We have the RF aerial input here and the HDMI out there. Let's plug it in, see what we can do. I've finally got it all plugged in. What's happening is here we have the RF out, radio frequency signal out, coming through this coaxial cable. It goes into this lovely splitter box that we used to use, so you could change it from the TV aerial or your game system. That's going into my RF modulator, which is over here, and then it's coming into the TV. But I highly suspect that there is no power in this whatsoever, so even though this is scanning, I don't think it's going to find a channel. Oh my God! Oh my God! Let me go back in shot. Can you believe it? I am so shocked. It works. That was me just getting back in shot. I don't believe it. I'm legitimately speechless. I thought for sure, there's no way this is working. There's no way I can get my RF to HDMI converter to find the signal. Did I just break it? It was working, you saw it. So the plan with this one will be, we will open it up eventually, have a look on the inside, give it a good clean out, but I will be doing an AV mod so I don't have to go through all of this just to get a picture out. Hopefully I can also improve the picture. Well, this one's working. This one was advertised as not working. Let's give it a try anyway. We're all plugged in. Moment of truth. Live test. I've not tested it. What are we going to get? Nothing. Fair enough. So at least we have our work cut out for us on this one. No power. It's going to need some investigation. Time to check out the Megadrives and the Sega Nomad. Good news is I also have an official Sega power brick for this one as well. I've just lost a light. I've already tested it off camera and it's good to go. When I purchased this over 2 decades ago, it did work. I didn't know it had any life in it whatsoever. The screen of course is shocking, but so that's what we're working with. I'm actually really shocked. I thought there was no life in this whatsoever. The screen needs work and we will replace all of the capacitors anyway because capacitors from the 90s were terrible and they're all prone to leakage. The good thing about the Megadrive or the Genesis was they updated the connector. You can see we have a 9-pin connector that goes into the back of the console. The original cable or the generic cable just came with your yellow for video, your red and your white for stereo audio. But I've got a fancy cable from AliExpress, very new, that also has the RGB spectrum as well. So what this does is it outputs a much higher quality video signal. So when I finally do get these working, we'll be able to have really good video captures. Let's try. We'll give this cable a try first. Light comes on, which is good. The TV is definitely set to AV. Potentially this mod was done because there was a problem with the original video and audio out connector, maybe. Let's give this a try. Safe to say, no picture, no sound is very true. We still have power, so at least there's signs of life. Definitely needs some work. Let's see if we have better luck with this Megadrive. These two are from the bulk lot that I purchased. The Master System from that lot worked, so fingers crossed this one might. There's a really dim power. Oh! We have black screen, which is better than no screen. Signs of life, power. I'm going to try a different cartridge. Signs of life, but it's got the dreaded black screen issue. We can work with that. On to the next one. Is it going to be third time lucky? Black screen? Nothing. Black screens all round, but that's not a problem. Gives me plenty to go on with here at Nerdorama Retro Nostalgia. As promised, a special announcement. I'm clearly not going to need 3 Sega Mega Drives. I'm not going to need 2 Sega Master Systems. My plan is to upgrade them, repair them, pimp them out and help them find new homes. So there is a chance that one day one of these could be yours. Here are some of the things that I've got planned. This is an RGB filter kit which is supposed to improve and upgrade the video quality coming out of a Sega Mega Drive. Here is the Sega Game Gear capacitor kit, so I'm going to use that to fix the other Game Gear that's got a lot of issues. These are all the capacitors for my Sega Nomad. I'm going to replace those anyway. It does also need a screen upgrade. We've got the Master, the Game Gear, and the Mega Drive cartridge. The great thing about these is they take an SD card. You can put any game you like on the SD card, pop it in, and then you can play any of the original games on the original hardware. These are going to be great. I've already got a brand new Sega Game Gear screen to replace on my Game Gear. This is going to be a tough one, but I'm looking forward to it. Thanks for watching. You might want to check out the original video of me repairing this Sega Game Gear, and I'll see you all again soon for some more Nerdorama retro nostalgia.